Hello, my name is Pavan Gadiraju. I'm the founder and CEO of robbit.ai. I take great pleasure in introducing to you robbit.ai. So, what is robbit.ai? Robbit.ai's idea came about a few years back when two Wall Street quants walked into a bar. They had a few drinks and indulged in the quintessential debate of our time: The Godfather, the original Godfather, and Godfather, the second part. Can these two movies be rated 5-star in the same universe? Drinks flowed, arguments went back and forth. Well, they never reached a conclusion, obviously. They called it a night, got sobered down the next morning, met again, and they had this one idea they discussed, which is it's all nice to have star ratings in the world of cinema and movies. They make for good conversations like they had the previous night. But where they don't belong, the star ratings that is here. Mutual funds ratings monopolized by Morningstar for the last, from the time they put this system together in the mid 80s, has looked something like this. You have 5-star funds, 2-star funds, and all sorts of stars for funds. And they also have Morningstar, that is an award ceremony, or they give away awards to uh, managers of the year. They don't really have a elaborate ceremony like the Oscars ceremony, but probably not far away from having that in the future. Now, all this is fine. So why is this a problem? Now, this is a problem because, as explained in this article by Wall Street Journal dating back to 2017, titled "The Morningstar Mirage," these stars ratings are random. They amount to nothing. A 5-star fund turns to a 2-star fund. 2-star fund turns into a 5-star fund a year down the line. They're all over the place. They leave the investors looking to pick up mutual funds using these ratings, like this guy over here. The quants decided to actually attack this problem head on and turn around and tell this to the frustrated investors who were dependent on Morningstar's ratings to pick up those funds, mutual funds. And they decided to do so by making this offer, like the old man did in the original Godfather, making an offer that the investors can't refuse. And the offers they decided would be called the Exchange Traded Intelligent Fund. Incidentally, it's a trademark, robbit.ai's trademark, that got approved on the 31st of December this year as I record this video. So anyway, I digress. Let's go back to that. So what's exactly an exchange traded intelligent fund? That drives the core philosophy of robbit.ai. And the philosophy works like this. The markets are a giant pinball machine where the mutual funds are the balls and the market forces are the pins. So the system works like this, robbit.ai system. The historical data of mutual funds and net asset value data, the balls, are pushed into this simulation engine, the pinball machine, if you may, where a carefully curated list of index ETFs act as pins, knock the balls around, and transmit the information to the core engine of robbit.ai, which is built on this mathematical premise called the multi-layered hidden Markov model. The model studies the simulations and out come the results in the shape of an ETF, the ETF, the Exchange Traded Intelligent Fund, which is a portfolio of ETFs, the index ETFs that serve as pins in the system, that mimics the style of the manager and makes an intelligent guess of the style of the manager. At the same time, gives the investor an alternative to the managers, to the mutual fund, to be able to replicate the fund themselves using these ETFs. And how does it all seem? How does it all look? In the great tradition of good writing, we've decided to show and not tell. Here's a short video of what robbit.ai's UI system looks like. It's a nice, clean, crisp UI with the choices on the left panel for mutual funds, ETFs, and stocks. A search box up top to make a quick search for whatever fund you're looking for. VDI GX in this case, the fancy hat buttons clicked and the magic happens. The results appear like they appear here to you on the screen, wherein that particular fund's replication shows up in the ETF to the right, and in this case, it happens to be made up of the S&P 500 ETF and the investment grade corporate bonds ETF, and the returns of the mutual fund and the ETF, which is a closed track here, as you can see, seen on the left hand side. Some metrics for the investors to dive deep into the numbers, as well as some forward-looking metrics driven by the forward risk return comparison that the robbit.ai engine calculates. So there you are. It's very really simple demo of what exactly the UI looks like. A good example here would be a screenshot here of one coveted 5-star fund rated 5 stars by Morningstar, the PRWCX T Rowe Price Capital Appreciation Fund, which is described as a manager unlike any other by Morningstar. And then the screenshot of what exactly the robbit.ai system analyzes this fund to be. To your left, you have this close track of the fund's returns in green and the ETIF's the exchange traded intelligent funds return in red, wherein you see the last 2.5 years. It takes a leap and has this is 10-year data, by the way, and you see that the ETIF's returns are well above the mutual funds returns, and it comes about because the robbit.ai system has managed to decipher the strategy behind this funds returns by putting together the ETF, which is seen to the right in the pie chart, predominantly made up of S&P, a splattering of the investment grade corporate bonds, European stocks, UK stocks, Russell 2000, and the 10 to 20 US Treasury bonds. A more detailed demonstration of robbit.ai system can be found here. These are the links to our YouTube channel, I beg your pardon, all put together with Notebook LM podcast system released by Google recently. Please take a look and to have a more detailed understanding of what exactly is happening under the hood of robbit.ai system. Now, at this point in time, most of the investors we speak to ask this one simple question: is that all what robbit.ai does? Is there anything else to it? The answer is straightforward: no. We are not a one-trick pony. What happens within the system is it's just incidental that the balls in the previous system happen to be the mutual funds data and the pins, the index ETFs. These could easily be replaced by power players like hedge funds and large asset managers and ETF providers and mutual funds providers, all the way up to large pension funds, to replace those balls with the data with their own proprietary system, proprietary data. Same with the pins, have proprietary data like the list you see here on your screen, and let robbit.ai's engine do the magic. The same calculations that happen, and out come these results, proprietary results for these players, large players, institutional investors, new mutual fund ideas, new ETF ideas, fund of funds ideas, and so on and so forth. A case in point is the this one example where, just for the heck of it, we ran the AIG stock to the system. AIG, we all know, is not a mutual fund, happens to be a common stock. But if you run AIG through the system, you have this ETF that shows up, which has the usual suspects, because the AIG is a financial stock, at least in the financial sector. You have the financial sector ETF, the S&P, the industrial sector ETF, Russell 2000. But the two standout ETFs here, the XLE, XME ETFs, the energy sector, and the mining sector ETFs, sort of leave you, at least they left me asking this question, why? Why so? And a quick Google search tells us, at least told me, that the AIG happens to be the largest provider of insurance to both the energy and the mining sector. And that explains it all. So now you can see how large players and institutional players can actually employ robbit.ai system core engine to maybe stock sector research, use it as a market risk engine to study where the risk is coming from for their portfolios, proxy hedges as they're called on Wall Street, or statistical arbitrage, anything else for that matter. And now at this point, you guys are probably, just like the investors I spoke about previously. So what is the commercial viability of robbit.ai? So we have this market size and scope evaluation, a very broad stroke evaluation of broad strokes in terms of where the market is and the size of the market is and what the size of the market is. MS Direct service offered by Morningstar happens to have generated 10% of their $2 billion returns in the year 2022. You have the link to their financial report from 2022, which has these numbers. And this service happens to be the bread and butter service that drives the mutual funds ratings markets for Morningstar. You have the numbers here in terms of, as you see in this slide, what Morningstar charges for different investors, and this is just scratching the surface. This is the core market we're trying to attack with the initial release of robbit.ai. And the traction and the strategy to monetize, we have that sort of sorted out for the fact that the task is cut out for us, because if you make a typical search for a mutual fund or an ETF, for a stock for that matter, in Google, the top left corner screenshot here shows you what the results look like at this point in time. You have the Google Finance graph at the top, the provider of the ETF, that link to the provider of the mutual fund, right below that, VDIGX in this case, and right below that is the link to the Morningstar's star ratings results for VDIGX in this particular example. And that's where our task is cut out, because even as I speak to you, record this demonstration, we have professional search engine optimization strategy that's being put in place for the website post-launch early next year, to be able to find ourselves a competitive place within these search results, right below Morningstar or above Morningstar, if you may, to give the investors a different perspective, to be able to have them click on robbit.ai's results and take a look. We also have planned to gain traction through the financial press, through our contacts on Wall Street, and also through our personal contacts, to create a buzz for a core trademarked phrase, the exchange traded intelligent fund. So it gains traction. People get to know about it. And then, of course, we live in the world of social media, in the times of social media, and we would want to have we plan to have a YouTube podcast to rival similar podcasts by Morningstar and other podcasts out there, for people searching for investment ideas on YouTube to be able to stumble into our podcast and then get to know more about robbit.ai's ETFs. And then the monetization plans, again, that's pretty cut out for us actually in the fact that the base bread and butter model is going to reflect, it's going to mimic the subscription model of the Morningstar's MS Direct strategy, where we're going to have a competitively priced model for mom pop investors, common investors, and financial advisors. And beyond that, we have this open API leasing model that's going to be the top dollar service that we're going to provide to institutional investors, hedge funds, mutual funds providers, and ETF providers, and large pension funds. A multi-tiered plan again, wherein the more you pay, the more you get, kind of a premise. And this we plan to kickstart through my own and my founders' networks on Wall Street. And how does this all pan out for us? So we have this sorted out in broad strokes. So we have a Google spreadsheet worksheet that captures the numbers, wherein it sort of to help us plan on our robbit.ai's projections for the next 5 years. First things first, we are looking to raise a seed funding amount of anywhere between $3.5 to $5 million. And the way we see it, how the money is going to be spent and what we see in terms of revenues for the next 5 years is captured in the link, the spreadsheet, the Google spreadsheet link that you find here in this particular slide. A short video to demonstrate how the particular spreadsheet works. The setup page has this information where in the starting balance up top in green you see is a number which reflects the seed amount. And once you have that number in, the starting balances for year 2, 3, 4, and 5, they all change. They're driven by the expenses and the income calculations that are captured in those individual sheets, and then also the runway simulation to the right, where in case of the worst case scenario of not being able to have any revenues coming in by the end of next year, what's the runway? One more year of operations with the same expenses in this case. And then a good example for year 1 with the expenses sheet here, broken down into different sections: salaries, technology, taxes, so on and so forth. And more importantly, the income sheet here with sort of a very simple idea of what our pricing structure is going to be for different players, corporate 401k, retail investors, financial advisors, family offices, and institutional investors. And for the first year, the assumption that we're probably not going to have any users. Let's assume that we don't have any users and see how it pans out. And a similar expenses sheet for year 2, and more importantly, the income sheet, the revenue sheet for year 2, where now we don't have zero numbers for the sales figures, and our projections for year 2 noted down here, and the summary sheet sort of summarized for every year the net of income and expenses for that year. Going back to the setup sheet, a change in the seed amount calculations, estimates, sort of drive the runway simulation and also the balances for the rest of the years. This is just to give you an idea of how the worksheet we employ the worksheet to sort of brainstorm on all the simulations that we have that we foresee for the first 5 years of Robbit's operations. Please feel free to click on the link, and when we meet, I'll be more than happy to go through the numbers with you with a fine-tooth comb. Coming to the team, I already introduced myself. I'm Pavan Gadiraju. I'm the founder and CEO. I hold 100% equity in the company as of now, my LinkedIn profile, my technical background, and also the LinkedIn profile to robbit.ai. The page of robbit.ai is also seen here. My co-founder, I can't reveal his name for the fact that we're in stealth mode for a good reason, because he has NDAs with his NDA with his present employer, and hence he has no legal links with the company. We go a long way back. But my co-founder and I, we go about 20, 21 years back, and he's a fellow quant. He's the second quant in the example that I mentioned at the start of this presentation. And also, we have this IT team, an offshore team of 6, one's a full-time employee. This is an offshore team based out of India. And they helped us put together the AWS infrastructure, the Amazon cloud infrastructure, and the UI UX front-end infrastructure, and also the pipeline, the middleware. So thank you. This brings me to the end of the presentation. Maybe with one lingering question: can both Godfathers be rated 5-star? At least I believe that the chap in the second movie quoted his father. So, well, the original Godfather has to be a 5-star rated movie, and if it is so, the second one can't be. It has to be just 4.5, at least half a star less than the 5. My co-founder doesn't agree. Let's leave it at that. But do get in touch when it comes to if you want to, if you have any questions. That's my email and my cell number, and once again my LinkedIn link there. It was an absolute pleasure to take you guys through this presentation. I hope you got the gist of it. I'm pretty sure you have lots of questions, so please do get in touch. Thank you. Thanks a lot for your time. I look forward to hearing from you. You have a good day. Bye-bye.